What's going on, everyone? Kevin Gallagher here with Gallagher Business Development, and today's hopefully going to be kind of a short and sweet one. In the U.S., as of today, there are 1,427 cases of coronavirus. Of that 1,400, 40 have led to death and fatality. Very sad. There have been 15 total recoveries, and there's currently 1,372 that are still active, and only 10 of those are critical. Worldwide, there's been 133,000 total cases, only 5,000 deaths. I'm not trying to downplay that, that's still very sad. And total recovery, 68,000. When I hear these numbers, I hear hope. A lot of other people hear despair. But in my brain, I say, hey, look, out of 133,000 cases, only 5,000 of those were deaths, but 68,000 of them are fine. And when you look into it, the people who have been passing away are immune-suppressed individuals and the elderly. And I get it. We have to do our part to help each other. We're a community, people. But to a certain degree, I do think we're freaking out, and I'm watching as hundreds of thousands of small businesses here in the United States are struggling. I know this painter who today, he was painting on a job. He's one of my clients. And he said, hey, I'm available to meet tomorrow if you are. And I said, of course, we can meet tomorrow. I said, why are you suddenly available? And he said, because I coughed at a woman's house and she kicked me out. We're living in weird times, people. The man is a known cigarette smoker. I think the cigarettes are what's making him cough. But I also understand people are just nervous. No matter what, this coronavirus is taking a massive effect on the United States and on our economy. When you take a look at the stock market on Tuesday, it dropping thousands of points. This is the worst time in 9 years of the stock market. Go back 9 years ago, what were we in the middle of? A recession, and yet this is the worst time. I mean, come on. We are going crazy. In fact, the only people making any money today, right now, in leaps and bounds, are anybody selling Clorox or Lysol or toilet paper. I mean, have you seen the shelves? The shelves are bare of toilet paper. I literally read an article on this morning that it is panic buying. People are lining up and they're buying toilet paper. And when they're asked why they're buying it, they're literally saying, and get this, they're saying, I don't know why, but everybody else is buying it, so I should too.
Listen, I came here for candy. I came to Target for candy. And I also just want to point out that y'all have done lost your damn mind. Look at that aisle. That aisle is buck wild empty. Let's see what else. Look at this. Look at behind me. Crazy, out of your minds.
I just imagine, like, you know, you watch those post-apocalyptic movies, you watch those movies and there's always that one guy who kind of stockpiles all this stuff because it somehow gives him power and whatnot. I just imagine some guy sitting on a pile of toilet paper, rubbing his hands together, waiting for the worst to happen. I thought maybe, hey, the coronavirus gives you some issues in the bathroom. No, it is just because people see other people doing it, so they're buying it too. My big question is, doesn't everybody just buy toilet paper at BJ's? I mean, you just go once a quarter and you buy 400 rolls for 25 bucks and your job's done. But I digress. The point of this video today is I want to talk to small businesses about a few things they can do to help keep themselves afloat during this time of the coronavirus and all of this. So first and foremost, one of the trends we're seeing right now nationwide is that companies are going to be closing down for potentially 2 to 3 weeks. At least they're gearing up to do so. So a lot of companies with 50 or more employees are moving in the direction of having their people work remotely, which is great. It's fun. I work remotely. Anybody who ever works for me in the future will be working remotely. I no longer see the value of being in an office. Schools, municipalities, other areas like that where people are congregating together are doing the same thing. I mean, the NBA disbanded indefinitely for the rest of the season, their entire schedule. There will be no more NBA for the rest of this season. So with that said, you as a small business owner have to make a decision. Do you send your people home and have them take their PTO, and then your company makes no money for 2 to 3 weeks? Do you keep your people in-house as long as you can until the government comes in and tells you you have to send them home, and potentially have them at risk and everybody getting sick in one collective space? Or do you find a mix of the two? And working remotely is a mix of the two. And you as a small business can do that as well. And let me give you 5 ways right now that you can get your employees geared up. But you have to take the steps now so that come Monday, if everybody's sending their employees home and schools are letting out and you've got employees who can't come to work because their kids are sitting home from school, these are 5 things you can start to put in place now to get ready for that to happen. And I don't want to say inevitable because I hope it doesn't happen, but it seems like it's going to be inevitable. It seems like it's going to happen, whether we like it or not. So the very first thing, VOIP. From a phone service perspective, if you're not doing VOIP anyway, you're behind. VOIP is a very affordable way to manage your phone network. And one of the best parts about it is if your employees have to be home, they could take their their phone from their desk that's connected to your VOIP system. They could take it home and plug it into their computer, log into the VOIP database, and take the same calls they would have gotten at their desk right there from their phone. I mean, another option is forwarding their phone to their cell phone, but a lot of your employees probably won't like that. They'll feel it's an invasion of privacy, so on and so forth. So VOIP is a huge opportunity for you as a small business at a very reasonable cost to manage your phone network. The second thing, remote desktop. Now, I'm going to jump ahead to the last thing where I have laptops. Key employees, get laptops. Give your key employees laptops to take home, managers and so on and so forth, so that they don't have to be logged in. Remote desktop is a great tool, and it's point number 2 is remote desktop, but it's a little frustrating and wonky sometimes to work from for an 8-hour shift. If your key employees have company laptops that are connected as long as they're on Wi-Fi, it's a major help, saves time and productivity. But if you're a company with over 200 employees, that might not be feasible to give every one of your employees a laptop to take home. So for all you small businesses that are like 1 to 10, if you could go out and get 3 or 4 Dells at $600 a piece and get your IT guy to connect them, or get an IT company, which will be linked below in my description. But if you could get it linked up to your network so if they're on Wi-Fi, they can access it, it's going to increase your productivity. So we'll call that number 2 and 3 was remote desktop and laptops for key employees. Number 4, using webinars for meetings. If you use G Suite or Google for your email, then there's a great free resource called Uber Conference that you could be using. If you would normally have an office meeting every Wednesday with all your managers, you can use Uber Conference, do the whole thing through video, and now you can have a nice productive meeting. If you have, normally if let's say your sales staff would normally travel to go and meet with some of your clients, well, they can use video conferencing to do the exact same thing. Video conferencing, huge tool. Uber Conference is a free version, but there are other ones out there that you could get, and if you want to pay for a version, you can. But if you're a small business, 1 to 5, 1 to 10 employees, you're looking for that free 99 price point that I always talk about, and that's one of them. And the last thing I want to talk about, if you're concerned about making sure that they're hitting their hours, virtual time clocks, clock in, clock out. There's great ones called T-Sheets and other great tools out there that you can use for a virtual time clock. I highly suggest it, but I think if you're using some sort of CRM or ERP database where they have to log in and log phone calls and log different things like that, you could get kind of the same thing done without using time cards. And probably if your people are using time cards, it's corruptible anyway. They could always clock in and just go off and walk away. But you know, at the end of the day, I would highly suggest having some type of a CRM or ERP system set up so that notes are constantly being entered and you could track what your people are doing. So those are just 5 areas. Again, VOIP, remote desktop, laptops for key employees, virtual time clocks, and webinars. Those are 5 areas you as a small business owner can implement low-cost options for stay-at-home workers during this coronavirus period. I hope you found it helpful. If you watched this and you thought of another idea, comment below. If you need an IT company, right down there in my description. And last but not least, I want you to come and hang out with me on Twitter. Right up here, go ahead and follow me on Twitter, and I'll make sure to follow you back. I hope you guys have a great day. Stay well, don't get sick, and all you small businesses, be small, think big. Let's go.